My name is Lainey Chopping. I am the manager of the Retail Building and Services branch within Consumer Protection, which is a division within the Department of Commerce. So I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Today we're just talking about Australian consumer law and the scams work that we do. We had 661 confirmed victims. A lot of the money that we see in scams is going overseas. We know from our counterparts in Australian Federal Police and overseas agencies that a lot of that money is going to organised crime. Australian people and businesses losing money, and we want to stop that drain.
Project Sunbird was started at the end of 2012. It was a joint project between the Fraud Squad in WA and Consumer Protection. We identified people who have sent money to our target countries in West Africa. From there, we send them letters. We send the first letter to the household, which is just a general warning letter. And then if they continue to send money after that, we're sending a target letter to the person who sent money, warning them that they may be sending money to a scammer. 223 people have contacted the department after receiving a letter, and they have a combined loss of 13.5 million and an average of 61,000.
So are you saying that you sent letters to 3,000 people, and of those 200 people have contacted reporting losing 13 million? And so there's a whole lot of others who haven't contacted, another 3,000 others who haven't, who have probably also lost a whole lot of money?
Yes.
And that's not in that 13?
Yes.
Wow, that's staggering.
The amount of people affected is staggering, but it's not just the monetary loss, it's also people are losing their families. A lot of people are actually sending their entire life savings and their children's inheritance to organised criminals who are posing as the guy down the road, who are posing as a potential partner from an overseas country, and that these people have very sophisticated mechanisms for enticing someone. We've spoken to scammers, Adam's spoken to scammers on Skype, where the person is talking to you through Skype and they look like they are the betrothed, they are the person who the victim is sending money to, and there's a live chat that occurring. It looks like a real person, but it's just an actor or a person being hired by the organised criminals to perpetuate the scam. The main problem with scams is not actually getting scammed, it's if you respond in any way, if you show any capacity to enter into any discussion, then the scammer knows that you're a potential live victim, and you will then be bombarded with mail, with email, with telephone calls from other scammers who are trying to extract money from you or personal information from you. Have a think about a time when you might have received an invoice and you thought, I don't remember purchasing those reams of paper, but somebody in the office must have purchased them, so it's only $300 or it's only $200. Just process it, just approve it, just put it through. These are bogus invoices, so these are fake invoices that are being sent to businesses. This week we had one for $50,000 that was sent to a major entertainment promoter in this country, and their company paid the bill because it looks legitimate. Looks like a legitimate invoice. They pay the money to the BSB on the account, and they lost $51,000. So this can happen to anybody. It doesn't just happen to people who are taken in by a scammer. The scams are very sophisticated and they look like normal invoices that you would all receive on a day-to-day basis. So let's talk about some scams that specifically target business. We just talked about this, false invoices, which is a major one that we see for businesses. But the other one we see for small businesses in particular, what we call unsolicited invoicing. So in Australia, the law that surrounds this matter says that if you are a company and you are going to send an invoice to somebody for something that's unsolicited, you have to mark across the top of the invoice in prominent capital letters, this is not a bill, you do not have to pay any money. We just had one case over East where the person who's on his second offence had gone out and in a very short period of time raised $120,000 through providing unsolicited invoices to people in the mining industry for listings in directories. But we're in the business of prosecuting these guys and shutting them down. Government grants, so some of you may have been approached by a company saying, for a fee of $400, we can give you a listing of all of the government grants that you are eligible for. So we'll look at your business and we'll say, okay, you're eligible for this. We'll give you a printout and a fancy report. All of the information that they're giving you is actually already available free of charge on the internet, and so they're charging you for a service for something that you can already get for free. They're trying to, it's not illegal, but they're trying to basically get your money out of you. One of the ways you can protect yourself is to say no to that service. The big one that we're seeing at the moment is small business loans, so pre-approval on loans.
We had a lady recently wanting to improve her business, and she was looking for a loan. She put in her details on many different websites, trying to get information on loans she could get. She got called by a company who were using an ABN of a business in Queensland. So they approved her loan for $10,000, but in order to get that loan, they told her that she needed to pay insurance up front. So she paid $1,000 up front, and then they said before she could get the money she would have to pay another fee, and then she paid that fee, ended up being another $1,000, and then she realised that she wasn't dealing with a legitimate company. The company she'd actually been dealing with, the ABN she'd been dealing with, had been unregistered, had been deregistered years ago, and she'd actually been dealing with people in India, and they were just using a voice over internet protocol number, which made them look like they were in WA, but they'd never set foot in WA, and so she'd lost that money. And so yeah, you just can never be too sure.
Overpayment and credit card refund, and this is a common one as well. So the consumer makes the order using a stolen credit card, and then afterwards they come to you and either want a refund of for the product, or they've made an overpayment, so they've deliberately overpaid for the service. So the service costs $500 and they make a payment on the credit card of $1,000. So you are obliged as the vendor to provide a refund of the overpayment. But you provide they say to you, oh, can you repay the overpayment to this account? So you as a small business have suffered a loss because you're just doing what you're required to do, which is repay the overpayment. But by the time that everything gets washed out, the business is left out of pocket when the bank reverses the initial payment. And this is a common one that we see. Ransomware. Adam, can you briefly explain for people ransomware?
Sure. It's basically a virus, easiest way to explain it, that takes control of your computer and any other computers connected to it via a network, encrypts your data, and then basically ransoms that back to you at a cost.
Email interception scams. This is where your supplier who's supplying you something their email has been intercepted by the scammer, and they are unaware of that. So they send an invoice to you, you go to pay them, but the email is intercepted, and the scammer has basically said, oopsie, don't pay it to that bank account, pay it to this bank account over here. We've updated the details for payment. Yeah, and so you pay it to the new payment address thinking that you've been dealing with the supplier, but in actual fact you're not dealing with the supplier, you're dealing with the scammer. The message to your accounts area, or if you indeed are paying your own accounts, is always be suspicious. Yeah, if anything changes, be suspicious and check it out directly with the people that you're dealing with.